Okay, so I've got Jamie and Jax. How you going?
Thank you.
That's good. Good to meet you both. This time next week, the night loops will be underway at Red Dirt Backyard Ultra, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't say that. It's remarkably close now.
Yeah. And you'll be running at it, Jamie?
Yes, I will. Yep. Yeah, I've had a few sort of practice runs. We've had a 12-hour and then 24-hour events in the last couple of years. Get a bit of interest, and now it's the first official one. So
Yeah,
looking
awesome.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're the race director, right, Jax?
Yes, one of four.
Oh, okay. Yep, very good. Well, I guess a good place to start would be to tell us all about the history of Red Dirt Backyard Ultra then.
Sure. I'll start. Jamie, fill in if I miss anything. Uh, as Jamie said, the first time we did a 12-hour event. That was really, I think, to see if there was an appetite for it in our community and also to see what our capacity was to deliver something like that. And it was really well received. It was amazing. Everyone had a great time. So then the next natural step was to try doing it for 24 hours, see how we could handle that. And now we're at round three, official, no race cap, and see what happens.
Yeah, unreal. And the 12 hours, was that 2 years ago? And the 24 hours was 1 year ago?
Yes.
Yeah. And you ran in both of them, Jamie?
Yes, I did. Yeah, went solo in both of them. Interesting take we had last year. We had teams option where you could have also had solos, but you could have a team of two or a team of four. So that was just sort of to gain that interest, get a lot of people, not to go every hour. They can get a bit of a break, get a bit of a feel of the format. So
Mm, mm.
yeah, yep.
And how many runners were involved last year?
55 last year.
Yeah.
About half of them, I think, were solos and the other half were teams, or in a team. And then this year, we're up to 86 solos.
Yeah, unreal. That's good.
Mm.
And Jax, you're obviously one of the race directors, but you are a runner as well. Is that correct?
It is. Look, talking about the history of it, the first year, it was a 12-hour event. We were fresh at it, but also lots of us wanted to run in it. And my big lesson from that was don't try and be a race director, a volunteer, a support crew member, and a runner because it's too hard to do all those things. And so, pick which one you're going to do in a particular year and do it really well.
Yeah, cool. And Jax, how long have you been a runner for?
Ooh. Oh, half my life. That's weird when I say it like that. Yeah, that's interesting. So probably in my 20s, I did a bit of running with my dad. Was kind of where it started. At that stage, really kind of half marathons, and then I kind of got the like, oh, I'll try out a marathon, and then I did a few of those. And then since living in the Pilbara, I met some crazy people who like to run even further than that, and that's kind of become the new normal.
Yeah, yeah. And what about you, Jamie? How did your running journey begin, and how long have you been running for?
Sort of similar, I guess. I've always been into sports and everything. I was into soccer and that, which a fair bit of running involved, but I was always into athletics. Didn't go right into like state championship level, but I was always a pretty decent runner. And then from there, I just like little 5 and 10 Ks here and there, and then it's been sort of pretty sporadic over the last 20 years or so. Just a little 10K here or doing a half marathon, and I've pushed out to do a marathon. Did the Gold Coast Marathon in 2014, and then I sort of haven't really done anything long distance since then until I moved to Karratha and met up with the Pilbara Trailblazers as well, and met up with other people that wanted to do ultras, and I've sort of got hooked onto the ultra scene now a little bit. So
Yeah, I saw that you did the 24-hour run at Lighthorse. What other races have you done?
So that's definitely the biggest one. Besides that, Red Dirt last year, where I did 16 laps last year.
Yep.
And by far that was the longest I'd gone before that. So I've done similar sort of races in the past, like an 8-hour one where I did about 50 Ks. Other than smaller sort of events, City to Surf and HBF Run for Reasons, things like that, half marathons here and there. I haven't really done any major big events that. Yeah, the Lighthorse 24 hours was my biggest one, and that's sort of a stepping stone up to this year's event. So just to see how I go there, and then hopefully go further this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did well. You did 100 miles, so that's really good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was definitely the goal, to see if I can do 100 miles in 24 hours. So tick that off, and hopefully we go a bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what about you, Jacs? What's your ultra running history, I guess?
It's pretty short and new, really. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, we should run Margaret River Ultra," and I think I was just naively convinced into that one, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. But it was the best day out. I really love, when you hear people talk about how an ultra is just kind of a day of hanging out with friends, doing a whole lot of eating and a little bit of running in between. It's awesome. So, and then the next step from that, because it's part of the group of 3, I did the Surf Coast 100 last year, and then I'm training for Run Larapinta this year.
Oh yeah, cool. So that's Surf Coast Century that you did?
Yes.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Awesome. And so last year was the 24-hour capped backyard ultra, let's call it. Was there a winner, or how many runners made it to the 24 hours?
So only one solo and one team. Jamie, have I got that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I did 16. So the solo technically won the event at 17, but we let him keep going because there was still teams going. So,
right.
And because it's not official, so we just go, we'll keep going, see if you can do the 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was the format, if you had more than one runner at 24 hours, then there would be a race to see who would win, or?
That probably would have been what would have happened. And that's, in fact, what happened in 2022 with the 12-hour.
Right.
It got down to a couple of runners, and so it was like, well, that's the only way we can decide who wins, is it has to be a hot lap. It probably would have been the same, but we only had one solo left at that stage. Like Jamie said, there was only one left, but because we still had a team going, we let him keep going as well.
Yeah. Do you remember how fast they ran it, the 12th lap?
Ooh. I don't know, Pato, but I do remember. So I was still in on lap like 10 and 11. And as it was getting closer to 12, I was like, I have no show against these people, and I don't need to put that many more kilometers in my legs to lose. So I'm going to bow out gracefully before that. They did it pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
I think Ethan last year did his last lap in 40 minutes, maybe, Jamie. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I've got the photo of him
with the time clock
at the finish line with the 40 minutes in the background. I'm pretty sure Levi did about 35 minutes the year before.
Could have been.
For the last lap. Yeah.
And are all the runners coming back from last year and or most of them coming back, I guess?
Actually, no. And that's sort of the interesting thing about our community. So Levi, who won the 12-hour, is now in Darwin. Ethan is a medical student who was in Karratha for placements and is now no longer in town. And we do keep hassling them and trying to get them to come back, kind of putting it out there, come and defend your title. But no, at this stage, no. So, yeah, it could be anyone.
Right. So the person who won the 24-hour last year, they're not in it this year?
No.
No, that's a shame.
Unless he signs up this week. Ethan, if you're listening.
That's not too late. I saw it's pretty good value. It's like, isn't it? Am I right? It's like $60.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because there's not really a lot of running events up here in the Pilbara, so we're really trying to get people involved. Yeah, because if we go down to Perth, it's going to cost a fair bit to travel and entry fees as well. So if we keep it pretty low price, pretty easy, then hopefully we can get a lot of people to join up.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess you both know the course like the back of your hand, but Jamie, how would you describe the course?
I think it's pretty flat. There's only one sort of little ditch, I guess, like little dip, which after a few laps it becomes a bit of a bit hard to get up. But there's a little bit undulating where some motorbikes have gone through as well, like just up and down. A little bit of like it's sort of like four-wheel drive mud area. So it's most of it's flat, but there's wheel marks in there, so you've got to sort of watch your step. But it's a little bit sandy in areas, but most of it's pretty hard packed dirt. So I would think it's a reasonably easy lap compared to some backyard ultras where I've seen like bigger hills and all that sort of stuff. There's not a lot of shade either, so it can get quite hot, even though it's winter. Yeah, can get hot. So
right, and it is the same. It is exactly the same course as what you used the previous years as well. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. The same course. We're looking at possibly changing a little bit of it depending on how muddy it is. We had a bit of rain about 2 weeks ago, which made one area a little muddy, but that's about a kilometre sort of area that we would have to change, and we've already got a plan in place if we need to use that. So
yeah, I did see a video of like water, like it looked like a river actually running over the track. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, so we have actually been out there this weekend and, trying to just see how quickly the water will dry off it. At the moment, it's looking like we're going to need to use the alternative course, just for runner safety, but let's see.
Yeah, sure. The have you actually measured the amount of elevation per loop?
not exactly. I've had a look on my Strava. You get sort of varying sort of, each time you do it, it's about 10 or 15 meters elevation, I think.
Oh, really?
Is what I've seen. So yeah, there's not much at all.
Yeah, that would be one of the flattest ones if it's just that. Yeah, I think Dead Cow Gully is 24, and that's one of the flattest. So
yeah, okay. I don't know a lot about that course, but I'm assuming going in and out of the gully would be a little bit of elevation there, and that's probably about it, I guess.
Yeah. There's like a couple of dips and a little bit of an uphill, but yeah, it's pretty flat. But yeah, if it's less than 20, that would definitely be one of the flattest there is.
It's like Jamie said, it's funny. It doesn't feel like a lot, but there's one place where it just kind of dips down and goes up. And when you've done that 10 times, it starts to feel like the biggest hill ever, but it's really probably not. Yeah. My Strava says 8 meters, by the way.
Oh, does it? Wow. Yeah, 8 meters. And you did mention it's red dirt. That's called red dirt backyard ultra, I'm guessing, because it is mainly all on red dirt.
Yeah, it's pretty red.
Yeah. So it's being held in Karratha. I don't really know all that much about Karratha. So have you both been living there your whole lives?
No, we are the family who lived in the Pilbara, left and came back, which when you talk to people, that happens a fair bit. So the first time we moved to Karratha was 2011, and lived for a couple of years and then lived in another town in the Pilbara, went away and came back. And so this time we've now been here for 6-7 years. So it's been home for a while.
Yeah. And what about you, Jamie?
We moved to Karratha 3 years ago with the army. So I was full-time Army. So I moved around a lot, and this was a unique sort of posting that I could get. Come up here, and we fell in love with the place. So I've actually recently got out of full-time, transferred to reserves, and we've decided to stay here for a bit longer. So yeah, nearly 3.5 years now.
Okay. And where did you grow up, Jamie?
I was in Portland in Victoria.
Yeah.
Right on the western edge of Victoria.
It's about 100 k's west of Warrnambool, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, about 100. Yep.
Yeah. And what about you, Jacs? Were you living did you grow up there, or did you?
No, we have that sort of funny story. Like, we were in New Zealand. When I say we, my husband and I, we'd gotten married, bought a house, kind of checked a bunch of boxes at 30 something, and it was like, okay, now what? And I think that was sort of when a lot of people were interested in Western Australia and mining, and we had a few friends who were, I don't know, truck drivers or doing various things, and we were like, oh, let's go check that out. And I think I thought we were going to go for like a couple of years, and kind of husband got a one-way plane ticket and went and checked it out, and then I came over. So when I got off the plane in Karratha, it was the first time I'd ever been there, which is a pretty big difference from living in Auckland to moving to the red dirt. But yeah, turned out all right.
Yeah. And what's the population there?
Ooh, good question. Do you know, Jamie?
Oh, I don't. I think it's roughly about 20,000 or so.
I was going to say about 20.
Yeah.
So if you compared it to Portland, is it a bigger or smaller kind of town?
I would say it's probably roughly the same, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's its history like? What industry was it built on?
It's a really big mining area, so a lot of iron ore. They do a lot of salt from here as well, like Dampier salt, which is a lot of places around here, and it's all shipped all over the world. But yeah, all the Rio Tinto and all that sort of a lot of iron ore all gets trained in and shipped out of Port Hedland. It's quite a big bit of our industry for WA is through Port Hedland.
Right. Yeah, very good. And you've mentioned Pilbara. Is that like the name of the region, is it?
Yeah, the Pilbara is the region that includes Karratha and also like Port Hedland, Tom Price, Newman, all originally mining towns. And then I think, over the last probably 10, 15, 20 years, there's been a lot invested in making them livable communities. And trying to encourage, because a lot of the workers initially were fly in, fly out workers, so they became the work to the left, and now trying to build that infrastructure and other community components that would want people to stay and live in the towns. Things like the schools, the hospitals, we have a Red Earth Art Centre, a leisure centre, like those things are relatively new community facilities that make people enjoy being part of the town and actually living there rather than just coming to work and leaving.
Yeah, sure. It looks like it must have a pretty healthy running culture though, because like to have like this type of race happening, and you've mentioned the Pilbara Trailblazers as well. So yeah, like it is would you say it's a running town?
I think we didn't realise how many people there were until we started doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, what were you going to say, Jamie?
Yeah, similar sort of thing. You always, whenever you're driving to work in the morning, you're always seeing people out running, or we run quite early sometimes, and a lot of people running through the day, and like some of them you don't even know as well. So, in the last couple of years, the Pilbara Trailblazers, and also we've got a park run in Karratha and one in Dampier as well. So they're both building up quite a fair bit over the last 3 years or so.
Yeah, awesome. Now, you did mention before the possibility of travelling down from Karratha to Perth to run in like Hurdies, for example, or maybe even Birdies. I Well, I guess do you know, is there anyone running at Red Dirt who have run in any of those races before? Do you know?
Well, the biggest name, I'm sure everyone that listens to this will know, Phil Gore. So he's coming up.
Yeah.
So he's been a pretty big supporter of ours. When we've got a lot of questions about what we should or shouldn't be doing or ways we can make it better, he's really open to us discussing with him, and he gives us some really good pointers. And he was straight on board as soon as we said we're going official, sort of thing. It's like that's one of my locked in events for the year. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So there's Brad Halls, which I know has been on your podcast a few times. He's coming up as well.
Yep.
And I think it's only really the locals here that have done it in the last 2 years as well.
Yeah. I think I heard that Big Kev is going to be running in it as well. Is that right?
I thought so, but I've since heard he's not able to.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
We were excited about that too.
Yeah, because he's a great personality.
Mm-hmm.
But Brad is as well.
Yeah, I ran with both of them, or all three of them actually, at Lighthorse. So
yeah,
they were really good. Yeah, really encouraging. Similar sort of thing. You go around the same lap every time, and Kev's encouraging me because we got our Pilbara Trailblazer shirts with the names on the back and everything. As well. Yeah, it's really cool because all these people that I've seen and heard on this podcast and seen do backyard ultras, and then getting to meet them in person and actually run with them. Yeah, it's really cool to do, and to see that they're just normal people as well, that similar to us, we're just like running ultra marathons.
Yeah, that's it. So this is a really huge opportunity for people in Karratha, I guess, any runners who want to go as far as they possibly can, and even possibly qualify to make the Sat Champs team or anything like that. So is there anyone running at the race in Karratha with those types of goals and aspirations?
I would say probably myself. I'm the only one that I know of. There may be others that we don't know, and hope that is the case. Hopefully a few others turn up and can do quite a few laps. But yeah, I've sort of had my eye on that for a little bit. So that's the dream, is to go pretty well and become one of those top sort of guys in Australia. So
yeah,
maybe this year, maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out, hopefully. So
yeah. Well, that's well, I mean, you might even knock the backyard king off his throne. You might win.
Well, don't know about that, but no, it'd be really good to run with Phil. I've run with a little bit, but Lighthorse, but
that will be awesome. And I mean, I guess is it getting any media attention in Karratha as well? Because it's a pretty big deal. He's one of the best ultra runners Australia's ever produced, and he's going to be running in a backyard ultra in your town. So is it a big thing there?
We're trying. Local news is radio is amazing. We always get really good connections with ABC Pilbara, with Triple M. They always have us on. We talk about things. Our local newspaper at the moment is not locally staffed, so it's kind of hard to get someone to pick it up. And I do always appreciate that it's a really niche thing. If you know, you know, but if you don't know, and sometimes when we talk to people about Phil Gore, and it's okay, if you don't know who Phil Gore is, go and Google him, and then you get a bit of excitement. I'm hoping it'll get picked up a bit bigger than that. We have also, sponsors also help. This event is being funded by DLGSC, so that's really helpful because they are on board with sharing and promoting what they can, and hopefully through their avenue something might get picked up. I'm constantly sort of trying to rattle a can to get someone to make it big.
Yeah, cool. And do you think, or is it kind of going to be held, is the race hub going to be in a spot where just the general public can come and check it out and stuff like that?
Yes, it is. It's so it's just at one of the caravan parks, basically the Balmoral Caravan Park. So it's on one of the main roads where people are driving past all the time, and well, we've had notice boards out, we've had banners up advertising this, so it's been on the radio a fair bit, so people should know about it. And we're getting the word around. So yeah, a lot of we have local food vans and coffee vans and things like that, so people can come down. There's a little bit of stuff to do around the event village there, whilst you wait for the runners to come in and see them off for the next lap. So.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I can expect there would be quite a few people there, especially on the first day. Like if you've got, I think you said 80 or so runners, like plus their crew, you'll have well over 100 people there at least for the first day. So, and then hopefully word gets around, this is really good, and more people come down and check it out.
I hope so. And that's the message we're trying to share is, you just come down and see what's going on, come and cheer people on, because it's such a good atmosphere. That's why I think it's been such a good choice as a signature event for Pilbara Trailblazers, because it's so inclusive, because every hour everyone is back at the start, because everyone starts together. It's not like a kind of point-to-point thing where you just take off through a start line and everyone is gone. And that's really important, that we create that atmosphere so people do stay and they do watch and they do support the people who are running. And even more so as it goes into, the night laps, you just want those people who are still out running to have that support.
Yeah, sure. Talking about night laps, at Dead Cow Gully, for example, when I was there, I was really, I was only there doing the live stream. I didn't run in it, but everyone doing the night course was telling me like about how many animals were out on course, and like not just one type of animal, but a whole different type of animals like wallabies, kangaroos, bandicoots, cane toads. Is there going to be? Does the course come to life there with wildlife at night time?
Not really. I don't think there's much wildlife at all, really. You see the odd kangaroo here and there, and I've seen a couple of snakes along the track, just little ones. Mostly during like practicing going through the night, whatever, night loops. That's about it. Have you seen anything else, Jacs? Not really a lot of animals around.
Really?
No drop bears, no.
Right, because I was imagining there would be heaps for some reason, but I don't. But obviously not.
Sometimes you get quite big lizards and stuff around in the Pilbara.
Oh yeah.
I haven't really seen any of those either running around this area.
Now it is pretty far up north, though. Like I imagine it's pretty warm, so like there would be crocs. Like would there be crocs on the course or?
Nah, definitely not on the course. We're sort of a little bit too south for that.
Oh, right.
There has been croc sighting here, and then as far down as Exmouth, I think. But that was like the first one ever, like last year, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, it's not, crocs aren't really a thing. It's, I think, sort of from Broome upwards, I guess, which is another 800 k's away.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if anything, I think it would be snakes, like lizards and roos, maybe.
Yeah. Dingoes?
Not around Karratha, I don't think. Yeah. There are dingoes in the Pilbara, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot sort of near the Exmouth area, which is a little bit south. But yeah, not up this far.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully.
Sorry, Pato, it's boring. There's no wildlife going to jump out at you.
Well, one last wildlife question. Hopefully the answer's no, but there's no cane toads there. They haven't got that far west, have they?
I've never seen one.
No, I don't think so. No.
I saw one for the first time when I was in Queensland recently, and they're the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few. I did a posting in Townsville, and they're all over the place there.
Oh. They're so
yeah.
and they're so bad for the environment too. I only found out recently they actually eat native frogs.
Mm.
They're disgusting.
Yeah.
I've never seen them so disgusting in my life. So yeah, I'm glad they haven't reached Karratha.
No.
What about the weather? Like, what can the runners expect? Well, what's it like at this time of year?
The best running weather ever. But then, if you're not used to our temperatures, it will be warm in the daytime.
Right. Yeah. And what about nighttime, Jamie? Cold?
It does get cold, but even last year it was cold. Like everyone in the village is all rugged up, but even running was still sweating it out. Doing the laps. So it's still sort of warm, I guess. But yeah, sort of definitely prepare for both if you are doing this one.
Yeah. So is it going to be like for example, what temperature is it tonight there?
Ooh, I don't know. What does the internet say? I should have been way more prepared for these kind of questions.
Right. You don't have your heat. Do you have your heaters on or a log fire going or anything like that right now?
No. We turned our aircons off.
Yeah, that's about it. Mine's saying about 26 degrees now. It sort of drops down to about 15 or 16 overnight, and we think that's pretty cold up here. So.
Yeah, we're not talking about minus temperature.
No, definitely not. No.
Low
teens, and we sort of bring out our jumpers for a few weeks, and that's the cold bit of the year, June, July.
Yeah, well, so it does sound like perfect running weather then at night time. But during the day, how hot do you reckon it can get?
It can get quite warm. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 30. Like probably about 30 or high 20s.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said before, there's not much shade along the track either.
Yeah. I guess everyone there's used to running in those type of conditions. And I know that Perth, it seems like it's always hot in Perth as well. So anyone traveling up from Perth will probably be pretty used to it as well, I reckon.
I think so.
So when did you decide that you would open up the race as a Biggs affiliated thing? Was it straight after last year you thought, oh, this was a massive success, let's do an open-ended race next year?
No, we sort of thought about it for a few months. Whether we'd sort of turn a few people away having to run every lap because they sort of really like the team environment. So we sort of put the word out there, got some people's opinion, and then in the end, the committee of the club sort of voted on it. And we thought, it'll be better in the long run to go for it now. We're sort of thinking maybe we hold off for another year or two. It's like, no, let's just do it. We'll just do it now. That's what we ended up pretty much doing, Jacs?
Yeah, and I think that was something that was interesting because for our 24-hour event, we sort of created that teams option to encourage participation. Then it became, lots of people liked that. What will happen if we take it away? And so trying to really highlight for people why it would actually be better as a solo. So, for example, the people who were in teams of 4, they were effectively waiting 3 hours to go out on course, right? Because that would be like their break time while the other people were running. So we were like, you can still sign up with your friends, like you're effectively running as a solo, but if you do it together, you run beside each other, you motivate each other, you actually get to be together on the course rather than just waiting for these big huge breaks in between and trying to kind of highlight why it would be better to do it that way. And I think it worked. I mean, there's more runners this year than there were last year, so we've done something right in selling it. And alongside that was really continually sharing, how easy it is to get around 6.71 kilometers in an hour, that you can, jog, walk, run. You don't have to be quick. And in fact, it's better not to be quick because your chances of going longer if you go slower. and really highlighting that it's inclusive for all levels of participation. You know, the people who are coming along for one lap and manage to do 2 or 3, that's as amazing as someone who's coming to do 10, 12, 14, 24, you know. And the stories from people who have signed up have really made it for me. The people who are coming and have told us their why, that's been really amazing.
Yeah. So with this, the team, how it worked with teams, is that how, like, you had teams of 4 and they each took in turns to run a loop? So you'd be running one loop every 4 hours. Yeah, well, I reckon the format this year's sounds a lot funner than that.
Yeah, I think the reason why it appealed to people initially was because if they had, so I'm thinking of the one team that did run the 24 hours, that was their target, but they worked out they only had to run 6 each. You know, so it seemed, I think, much more doable to make the total if it was shared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. Sorry, Jamie, go for it.
I was just going to say, I think it's, if you do it solo, but with your friends, I would think it's even more teamwork to, you know, running with them and encouraging them and say, no, don't quit yet, you know, do another lap, sort of as you're pushing yourself through it as well with your friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And like, I mean, you're sharing the race with everyone else on course if you're running it all together the whole time as well. That the experience, like, you're sharing the experience is what I mean. But it would be interesting if someone, I mean, it wouldn't be Big's affiliated, but it would be interesting if there was a teams event that was also open-ended, so it could go forever. Like, if you had teams of 4, it could go for weeks. It could go for months.
No. I'm like, hard no. We're already thinking, like, what happens if this thing goes until Tuesday? You know, like, weeks is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. So so it starts on Saturday. What time does it start?
7 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Yep. Perfect. And I'm assuming that, like, this is going to continue next year and for all the years thereafter.
I hope so. That's the plan. You kind of can't go backwards, right? You're like, you 12 hours, you 24, and now it's uncapped. Like, yeah, I suppose what's next? Teams uncapped, and we'll be going for 4 weeks. Who knows? No. I like the idea now that we tried it. We think people like it. It's been really great in our community. Now we just keep doing it and hopefully do it better, right? Each time we learn from how we've actually delivered the event and see what we can improve on in that regard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, having runners like Phil Gore there is, like, going to put a lot of eyeballs on the race. A lot of people, because I'm pretty sure that's only going to be one of 2 backyard ultras he's running all year. So, and it's the first one he's run since Big. So a lot of people will be interested to see how he goes. And it would be great if he can get pushed by a local and and really give him a good test. That would be unreal.
Yeah, I think it's we can put our backyard ultra on the map for Australia, I think. And I was sort of looking at it before, like, to qualify for the team, it's one of the last ones that you can do, I guess. And if it's a flat one, then we can show that the course can go long. We might get more people come in from interstate or, you know, from Perth or whatever to come up here to try and qualify.
Yeah, it's a perfect advertisement. And how are people going to be able to follow along at home?
On the Pilbara Trailblazers Facebook page, that'll be the main one. There'll be live updates and photos of how many runners are still out there on how many laps, and all the sort of things that you get updates for. No live tracking or anything like that, but you'll get quite a lot of live feed videos.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm giggling because you'll probably get a whole lot of Jacs going, like, with the phone, look what's happening now. That's kind of as good as it gets at this stage. But we did well with that previously, sort of the start of every lap and got photographers out taking photos, and we are doing some different things this year, like trying to encourage entrants and spectators and support crews to also, tag things and share things. So other people's content is helping us to, make it keep going round and all of that. So do as much as we can for people to see what's going on.
Yeah, cool. And Jamie, have you got a really detailed race plan written down and organised?
Yeah, I'm trying to go that way. I have got a fair bit of a plan. Having gone 16 hours last year and I ended up in hospital, to be honest, with severe dehydration. So we sort of knew what we were doing. This is the first big ultra race that I've done. So me and my wife has crewed for me as well for the last two. So we looked into it a fair bit, nutrition, hydration, everything. We thought we had enough, but obviously we haven't. And then I've gone away from that and learned a hell of a lot over the last year. And a lot of that was putting in a plan. Like, the first thing I did, like a week or two after having a bit of a think about it, is I got an Excel spreadsheet and I went hour 1 to 24. So I'm gonna run 24 hours next year at least.
Yeah.
So I have got quite a plan. And I've been listening to your podcast. I listened to every episode over the last few months. So that's really good. Thanks for that.
Oh, no worries.
You get some really good guests and you get really good ideas, different things to eat and drink, and what might work, and then go out and try it. So a lot of that's gone into the plan, and yeah.
So with this dehydration you had last year, what happened? To end up in hospital, it must have been pretty. Did you collapse on course, or what happened?
No, well, I think my body told me that it was done. I wasn't sort of stumbling or anything, but I just had nothing left in the tank, just no energy left. I actually finished the lap and I felt fine, sort of sat down for a bit. Felt a bit sick, went to get up, and then next thing I remember, I was on the floor and the ambulance was there. So I was, I sort of blacked out. It was pretty scary at the time.
I remember exactly what happened. I saw it. And it was just, woo.
But it's a big learning curve, and if anyone is looking at doing it and going long, it's great to push yourself, but you really need to look at what you need to be able to do that. How many calories an hour and all that sort of stuff. I had severe dehydration. I had about 4 liters of fluids pumped into me to get my kidneys working properly again. So my kidneys were shutting down. It was very bad dehydration.
Yeah. Well, I guess something like that happening, it sounds like you'll definitely be over prepared this time to make sure something like that doesn't happen. What type of foods are you going to take with you, and have you figured that out?
Yeah, so a lot of the potato sort of thing, hash browns and whatever for in the morning, like rice crackers, rice cakes, and all that sort of stuff, sandwiches and everything through the day. And I like the idea. A lot of people use the noodles as well.
Yeah.
Soups and things, noodles. And then the LCM bars are really good as well.
Yeah.
The rice bubbles, eat a lot of those, and I've got a whole heap of list of things on me plan, and we'll get them and just sort of see what you feel like at the hour and swap it out here and there. But a lot of that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah. Were you taking hydration out with you on course last year when you had dehydration, or were you waiting to drink when you got back to camp?
Well, I always had water on me. Mainly water during the lap, and then I'd get some tailwind or hydration in between the laps. And it was quickly found out that water just doesn't do it when you're going for hours and hours and hours. You really need those electrolytes to be going in all the time. So
Sorry, that's one of the big differences that I found when I started taking out Tailwind with me, like in a bottle every loop. It did make a huge difference. So I ran my PB, or every time I've been in the 30s, has been since I've been carrying a handheld drink bottle with me. So it definitely makes a difference. And if it's being run in around 30 degrees in direct sunlight, it's definitely advisable, I think. And Tailwind's what I drink, but like you said, something with electrolytes is the way to go, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We've got we use the brand Bix over here as well. It's locally made in WA, so they're a pretty big supporter of ours as well, and they've got the one with the calories in it now as well. So we're getting into that as well. Yeah.
And as far as all the runners go who will be there, is there any, I mean, I normally ask for 3 Backyard Ultra tips at the end of each episode, but I guess this will be your first one, so it's pretty hard to give 3 Backyard Ultra tips. But if there was 3 things that you wanted to just instill in the runners who are running, just make sure you do this, make sure you do that, or just three things to pass on to the participants, what would the message be? I'll let you go first, Jax.
Oh, I think mine would just be one, and that's like, have a great day, go with an open heart and enjoy yourself. It's supposed to be fun. And I hope we're going to create the atmosphere for that. And yeah, just go and have a good time.
Yeah.
However many laps that is for you.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
A lot of similar sort of ones that what you hear on the podcast all the time. It's like sort of don't have a goal, because if you set your goal that you only want to do 6 laps, then you get there and you know, why should I keep going? So no, you've got plenty more, so yeah, try not to have you set on a certain number of laps, just keep going and just get to the start line, go off and see how you feel.
Yeah.
Another one would be the crew. Even if it's just a friend that doesn't know what they're doing, sort of thing, just give them a bit of an idea of what you might need. If they can just have things ready for you as you come back, it's one less thing that you need to worry about. You come in and trying to find certain things, whatever. It's like if you've already got a crew there that has it for you, you don't have to think about that.
It makes a big difference. At my last race, No Time to Die, I did the first 10 hours uncrewed, but then after that I had Gemma actually crewed for me after that, and it just makes such a big difference being able to sit down in your chair and have someone pass you what you need. It makes, and just fill up your Tailwind, fill up your drink bottle, whatever. It just makes a huge difference. And then giving you ideas, do you want this, do you want, eat this and stuff like that. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, so Phil and Gemma are coming up a couple of days before it, and they're actually doing a bit of a talk here as well. So yeah, we've had a Zoom interview with them, and a lot of that's been about the crew as well. So Gemma's given some really good tips on that, and she'll do the same on Thursday night when we like bib collection and sort of meet and greet. So that should be really good. Yeah.
It will be really good, because I think a lot of our runners probably don't know what to tell their support crew, actually. Although one thing I did steal from Phil Gore was elastic laces. Get yourself some elastic laces, because your support crew will thank you for that. When you can't take your own shoes off and they're going to do it for you.
Yeah, I remember I was at Hysterical Carnage and I hadn't yet bought myself some elastic laces. I was using normal laces, and Phil was there, and when he saw that I still had my normal laces, he was disgusted. Yeah, I've definitely got elastic. They do make a big difference. Yeah, they are helpful having elastic laces. Well, look, I can't wait to follow along, and all the best, both of you. Jamie, all the best on qualifying for the Sat Champs team. Will be great if you make it, and you're just going to have a great time anyway. I think, regardless of what happens, and so make sure you post lots of updates so we all know what's going on, and it's going to be great.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on as well.
Thank you. Definitely, no worries. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So
yeah, cool.
It's come up quite quick. So
yeah. But it sounds like an awesome race. I'd like to do it myself. Maybe next year. We'll see.
See you there next year.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll be following along on the weekend.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Pato.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, it would be awesome if you could share, comment, like, subscribe, all of that. If you've got any feedback, shoot me a message. Hope you have a great day. See ya.